I've come here as a gesture of good faith to make an offer to you to indicate my goodwill towards your people. Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to the Noble generation of my Medieval Legacy Challenge. I decided to keep calling it Noble until we have Edward as a teen, because if the next gen had an aspiration focus, which it does, then he won't be able to start that aspiration until he's a teen. So that's my logic. I'm going to keep calling it Noble just for probably a couple more parts. It sort of depends on how the story plays out while they're children. I'm starting with this fella because he is a ranch hand. You can obviously tell by the clothes the game's put him in. So what I've done is I've hired a ranch hand. We don't actually have a horse on this lot, but I figured we're meant to have staff because we're a noble, and I figured I'm waiting to see if he looks after the cow and the chicken. Wait, what? Justine, you okay, baby? Oh, that's bad. In this one instance, I know I normally don't do this, but just so we don't lose the baby, I'm gonna have her father feed her. Yeah, I'm coming, sweet bean. Don't be taken away. Aimee's in the middle of making a cake for his birthday. It is his birthday. Now, you will have noticed Felix is at school, Edward isn't. That's because what I've done in terms of horses, if you saw my community post, you'll know I am slowly integrating horses into this save. I've given horses to all of the knights, and there's quite a few knight households in the save now. There's one household that's not in either Windenburg or Henford that has a knight in it that I haven't done yet. But all of the rest have horses. I've created a stable, which is actually a lot in this neighborhood. I'll see if I can spot it from here. So that's where the knights are, the knight battalion that's here looking for the vampires. They're the vampire hunters. I built this stable. It is on the gallery if you want it. It was CC3 when I uploaded it. I've added a couple of CC items afterwards. This is a stable that they have a stable hand who looks after their horses at this stable. Obviously, we've got quite a big household already. I didn't want to add a bunch of horses to this lot. Nobody eat that cake. Nobody do it. Can I put candles on this? Don't tell me I made one that can't have candles. I think I made one that can't have candles, you guys. Well, I guess I'll just put that in there and we'll get another cake. First, I want to age up Gabriel. It is sad that Felix isn't here, but I thought Gabriel and Aimee will have had horses already. Edward, now that he's a little bit older as a child, has been given a horse by his parents. Now, obviously our main focus is completing this aspiration. He needs to be friends with 2 adults and 3 children. We're friends with James, but he needs to meet 2 other children. Actually, I wonder, he can make a friend with Felix, right? Hang on, wait, why does Felix not count? We should have 2 ticked off. I'm going to add 1 more, like having be friends with 1 more child, and then I'm actually probably going to cheat that off, because it should be counting. If they're sorting in the friends list, they have to be actual child age children, but still. Now, I'm not going to make a big fuss out of Gabriel's adult birthday. Oh, you smell. Because I've got other things I want to do in this part, and we had a bunch of birthdays in the last part. Alright, happy birthday, my dude. Congratulations on completing your generation before you became an adult. I'm actually pretty proud of that effort, I'm not gonna lie. I realised also there was nothing in the challenge that said he had to complete the business career. I played it that way, but technically he didn't need to. So we probably finished it a while back, but that's fine. Alright, you guys, Gabriel's brought his son to the stable. It is snowing, and obviously Gabriel probably would have preferred not to come, but Edward was like, please, Dad, you said you got me a horse. This isn't his horse. This is his mother's horse. Her name is Dapple. Now, I've hidden the balls around here, and they're all black and white. Obviously, inflatable balls are not a medieval thing, but we need them. So this is actually Gabriel's horse here, Orion, and this is the horse that they've gotten for Edward. Her name is Melody. Actually, I should turn the headline effects on just so I can keep an eye on their needs, because the last thing I want is to have a horse taken away because the game bugged. I actually have had that happen in Horse Ranch already. In my off-screen save, I was playing around with the pack to see how they worked, and the game glitched and my horse starved and it was taken away and I couldn't do anything about it. It really sucked. So I'm just going to keep an eye on them. This is our stable hand, by the way, Cedric. So I'll do a polite introduction to him. What's the matter? He feels hurt by somebody. His caregivers are so busy with his siblings. His dad, he feels ignored by his dad. Wow, that's really interesting. Maybe it was when Gabriel suggested they weren't going to come here. My logic is they got him a fairly calm horse for his first horse because he's their heir. Now, I did also cheat up some basic skills for the horses because these horses have been trained. It makes sense to me that they would have some basic skills. And likewise, I've given Aimee and Gabriel horse riding and all the knights because I don't want to see a knight bouncing around on a horse in the world. I don't even know if that's a thing that could happen outside of the horse ranch world. We're probably not going to see horses just running around, but we're going to see. I'm hoping we do. Alright, so he's having a conversation with his horse. He's like, pleased to meet you. That's why we have a stable hand. That's not my problem. Edward, I didn't give horse riding skill. This is his first experience with a horse. Did that have to be right there? Really? Well, you can do it, buddy. I was just trying to get a thumbnail, you guys. I'm sure you figured that out. Ooh, he can go for an energetic ride. Look, that does not seem like a great idea. If I have him just walk here, just so that he doesn't dismount. We're going to do a relaxed ride with both of them. I'm hoping they take the same path. I assume it's based on the jogging routes, right? All right. Come on, Orion. Got to keep an eye on that boy. Oh my god, look at this! It's got real trail ride energy. Kind of loving that. Look at Edward, he's so happy. He's like, ah. His dad's watching his form. I had my hesitations. Honestly, my main reservation as far as horse gameplay for Medieval goes was all of the objects I saw in the trailer, and maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention, but all the objects in the trailer were very, like the barrels were very plastic looking and the jumps were very modern looking. Ooh, the sun's going down. That's probably a bad time to take your son for his first horse ride, but that's fine. Oh my god, you guys. Oh, Gabriel, no. You gotta follow Edward, Gabriel. Maybe if I control Gabriel. Follow your son. Hey, sheep! Come on. I think this is probably the best way to do it, actually. So I'll just control Gabriel. So this is how, especially in the next generation, because unless I move the castle to a new lot, the castle... Oh, hey, I can actually have them dismount here and go home. I mean, that would make sense. It is getting dark. How are you going, bud? He looks so stressed. Yeah. Can kids even get horse riding skill? Because he's working on motor. Oh no, he is getting horse riding at the same time. Okay, that's interesting. He is also getting tired though. So I might have them dismount and we'll have them go home. Obviously, the ranch hand, honestly, he'd probably be riding along on his own horse. I didn't add a horse for him to the house, but he'd probably be riding at a discreet distance. Because then if these guys want to stay here, he could just lead the horses home. I think that makes sense. So, yes, this is my workaround. All right, I'm going to get you to stop. We're going to dismount just because you're so tired. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. He's like, okay. So the Sims have come home and I've just got them heading off to bed. But Felix wants to have a chat to his mother because I guess he thinks she's probably the more sympathetic audience, but he's going to complain. So what he wants to know is, when is he getting a horse? It's not fair. How come Edward gets a horse? Edward gets everything. I mean, to be fair, Edward does get everything. He's going to get the kingdom. Alright, so Felix has caught Aimee in the corridor and is like, Mum, how come I don't get the same treatment as my brother? And she's like, well, your brother is a prince. He's like, okay, but we could have a horse for me. That would be a thing that we could have. I could have a horse. And she's saying, well, we're a little bit concerned about your health, sweetheart. And he's like, but I want a pet. I want one, like, he got a whole horse. And Amy's like, well, maybe we could work up to a horse. Because the thing is, she knows, assuming Edward does inherit, which is looking likely at this stage, assuming he inherits the crown, Felix is going to actually end up as the Lord of the Water State. He's going to need... She's assuming he'll probably be driven around in a carriage. Like, obviously some lords probably don't like horses. There'll be people, like, in medieval times, same as now, there'll be people who are scared of horses, had bad experiences, that kind of thing. So she's scared. She's scared of his health and wants to coddle him and protect him. But also she's like, well, maybe he'll get stronger over time. So she's kind of, she doesn't want to give him a horse. That's not happening. But what I was thinking is maybe we could have her get him a pet. I don't want to have a pet that's in the household. I was actually thinking one of the little sheep, and he'll be probably quite offended by that. I thought we could do that. So I think you can buy them on the phone, because I don't really want to put one of those signs down or anything. Now, he is a noble child, so I'm going to get them the super expensive black one, because he just had his birthday as well, and he's like, well, you know, Edward got a horse and it wasn't even his birthday. So this is his new little pet. Now, what are we going to name it? I'll have him name it. Given the way he's feeling, I'm going to have him call it Stormcloud, because he's not happy. Can I get you to chat with little Stormcloud? Like, I think Felix is young enough that this is a thing that he... Ooh! My pet doesn't like me. Oh, the poor boy. Look at his face. He's like, I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe the black ones are evil. Okay. No, there was some cuddles there. That's fine. Now, I don't know if sheep can go downstairs. This could actually be a problem that I've put it on this floor, but they also don't pee or anything. So maybe if it lives on this floor, then, I mean, this is the floor his bedroom's on. Maybe that's fine. So it's the middle of the night and we have a visitor. She just showed up and knocked very politely. And Tiana and Aimee, who's the only other adult awake in the house, have come out to talk to her. Now, Tiana is a spellcaster. She's ready to go. This is obviously a vampire. So she's introducing herself and saying, my name is Queen Teresa Stroud. You may have heard of me. And Aimee's like, she's going to say yes. She probably hasn't. She's probably heard of Vlad, but not Teresa. She's like, yes, your husband killed my mother. And Teresa's like, yes, sorry about that. But your kingdom declared war on my kingdom, so he felt like it was justified. Your people are trying to kill mine. Now, we're just going to imagine Tiana's standing here, because I can't control her, so if she's going to choose to wander away, there's not much I can do about that. So Aimee's like, what do you want? And Teresa's saying, this war is very inconvenient for me and my husband. And Aimee's like, I'm so sorry. Sarcastically, you know, she's feeling pretty cocky. She's got a spellcaster ready to wield fireballs behind her. And Teresa's saying, I've come here as a gesture of good faith to make an offer to you to indicate my goodwill towards your people. Now, Aimee's a good judge of character. She has the observant trait. She knows this woman is evil, self-absorbed, and hot-headed. So she's not really buying it. Also, I need to get this conversation done in the next 2 sim hours before Teresa burns to death. Aimee's like, dawn's coming. What do you want? Teresa's saying, a gesture of good faith. I wish to make you an offer. I know one of ours has offended greatly against this family. And she's like, yeah, your husband. It's like, no, other than him. Ignore that. The other one, Penelope Kimball. She, I believe, killed or turned, and then you lot killed your husband's grandmother. And Aimee's saying, yes, that's true. I'm going to cheat this off, obviously. It's just because I've got them talking. Penelope's inconvenienced me greatly as well. And I would like to give her to you as a gesture of good faith. And Aimee's like, what do you mean? Teresa's saying, you have people who destroy vampires. I'll tell you where she is, and you can destroy her. And Aimee's like, I assume you want her removed. Is she inconveniencing you? And Teresa's saying, yes, very perceptive, obviously. I would like her out of my hair as well. She's quite an inconvenience to me. But the fact remains, she turned and ended up causing the death of your husband's grandmother, who also attacked a number of your household. We know about all of this, and I assume that you want her gone as much as I do. And Aimee's like, she's seeing a rift in her enemy's kingdom. She's like, this is something we can exploit. And she has the thought, well, maybe having Penelope there is worse for Teresa and Vlad, and that's a good thing. But also seeing one less vampire in the world is a better thing. So I think she's going to accept the offer. Yes. you know, we'll take care of your dirty business, your dirty work for you in this instance. Teresa's like, excellent. Look out for a letter from me in the coming days. For those of you who've been watching for a long time and have good memories, or have maybe watched the videos more recently, thank you to those of you who've come on board recently, by the way, I'm very grateful. Teresa is the same sim that turned Oliver, who was our second-gen violinist. He was the younger brother of David, who was the heir to the farm, and the older brother of Rose, who was our servant-gen sim. Give residence keys. Absolutely not. Send this lady home. So she's got to leave before dawn anyway. Obviously, Aimee is now going to have to go in and explain to Gabriel what just happened. So she's going to explain it to him. He probably won't be super impressed that she had that whole conversation without him, but he was very tired, let's be real. Tiana will also be able to reassure Gabriel that she was protecting Aimee at the time. I'm not sure Tiana, in a battle between Tiana and Teresa, Teresa's a lot older, so I feel like Teresa would probably win that fight, but it would depend who got the jump on who. If it was during the day, Tiana would win. At night, Teresa's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. She's not as old as Vlad, because Vlad turned her. Teresa's backstory, if you're curious, is that she actually was a member of the royal household back in the day, and Vlad stole her much the same way that Penelope got turned, or more like what Judith happened to Judith, actually. That's how Teresa ended up a vampire, so she's kind of familiar with what happened to Judith, but Penelope's also gunning for Teresa's position as Vlad's first and favourite. Now, I'm not going to do the situation with Penelope, I'm not going to do that in this part. I'm actually going to leave this part here. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe, you know the drill. If you haven't, I hope I didn't leave you crying like Justine here. Don't forget to wash your hands, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.